The emotional brain, behaving like a field of potential. In neuroscience, emotional processing involves structures like amygdala, hypothalamus, insula, anterior cingulate, brainstem networks. Together they form what we loosely call the emotional system. Before interpretation happens, this system produces raw affective signals. These signals are often described as core affect. Core affect has only two dimensions: valence, pleasant versus unpleasant; arousal, calm versus activated. At this stage there is no specific emotion yet, just bodily state. So you could say, raw affect equals undifferentiated emotional potential. Emotion appears when the brain interprets the signal. The modern neuroscience model, Lisa Feldman Barrett's constructed emotion theory, says, the brain constructs emotions by combining bodily signals, core affect, memory, past experiences, context prediction, attention. Only then do we get labels like anger, sadness, fear, love, shame. So the flow is more like body signal leads to prediction, leads to interpretation, leads to emotion. Or in our language, potential leads to pattern recognition, which leads to emotional identity. Attention does not create emotion from nothing. It selects one interpretation among several possible ones. Think of it like your nervous system receives ambiguous data. Possible interpretations exist simultaneously: threat, rejection, disappointment, tiredness, hunger. Attention stabilizes one interpretation. That becomes the experienced emotion. Memory acts as a prediction engine. Memory's role is critical. Your brain constantly asks, what situation is this most similar to? If it matches a past pattern of betrayal, abandonment, rejection, disappointment or humiliation, the brain predicts danger, sadness, anger. This happens before conscious thinking. So memory narrows the emotional possibilities. Observation, conscious awareness, comes later. This is important. Conscious awareness is usually the last step, not the first. Sequence typically goes: body shifts from emotional prediction to physiological change to conscious recognition. Meaning you often feel the emotion before you know why. Now the interesting connection to our trauma model. Our earlier idea about trauma memories maintaining emotional loops fits perfectly here. If memory repeatedly predicts the same emotional meaning, then the system repeatedly constructs the same emotion. So the loop becomes memory, prediction, emotion, confirmation, stronger memory. This is why trauma feels like emotional destiny. But it's actually predictive bias. So our model can be refined like this: core affect, undifferentiated, leads to memory prediction, leads to attention selecting interpretation, leading to the constructed emotion. Or in simplified language, the emotional brain generates raw energy. Memory predicts meaning. Attention stabilizes the story. The result is the emotion we experience. Why this matters for healing. If emotions are constructed, then identity attached to them is not fixed. Changing interpretation, prediction and attentional focus changes the emotional outcome, which aligns with the core of our work: update the narrative, and subsequently, update the emotional reality. The deeper philosophical connection, our instinct about potential becoming reality through interpretation, actually matches both modern neuroscience and predictive processing theory. The brain is not detecting reality. Most of all, it is continually generating its best guess about reality.